I was in bed and got a phone call at 1 o'clock in the morning. This is the Douglas County Sheriff's Office. Can you come down? And I just felt a cold chill run through my blood. I just knew that something had happened, and I woke my husband up and I said, "It's Johnny." And we went down, and there was a police officer standing there and a woman in black. And she said, "Mr. and Mrs. Stack, I'm with the coroner's office, and I'm so sorry to tell you that your son is deceased." And that was really the last thing that we expected to hear. And that was the worst day of our lives. I hope we never have another day like that. Johnny was born in 2000, and marijuana was legalized here in 2012. And I remember when it came into the dispensaries and all the lines wrapping around the block, and he was 14 years old, and he went to his first high school party. And so he came home and told my husband and I, "Mom and Dad, just want you to know there was marijuana at the party." And all the boys wanted to try to get high. And they handed it to me and said, "Hit this." And I did. I caved. "I'm sorry." I told him, "Don't ever do that again, because that will destroy that brilliant mind of yours." And sadly, it was just the start of 5 years of addiction and struggling. He came to our house 3 days before he died, and he said, "Mom, I just want you to know that you were right. You told me many years ago that marijuana would hurt my brain, and it has ruined my mind and my life. And I'm sorry, Mama, I love you." And 3 days later, Johnny took his own life after he became psychotic from using wax and vapes. Johnny was a good kid who made a lot of really bad choices, but Johnny was a victim. He should not, at 18 years old, while his brain is forming, been able to get a medical marijuana card and go in and use these high-potency products that destroyed his brain. If I had known then what I know now, I think I could have saved him. I didn't even know what dabbing was. I thought it was a bad dance move. None of the doctors thought it was addictive. Nobody told him to stop. His psychiatrist just told him to use a different strain. 6 months after Johnny died, I put up a Facebook post and said, "Has anybody heard of cannabis-induced psychosis?" And I put a few links, and it went viral. And I thought, oh my goodness, if all of these thousands and thousands of people don't know about it in just my circle, imagine how many people in the United States and in the world. So I kept writing, and I wrote Johnny's life story, The Dangerous Truth About Today's Marijuana. Cannabis-induced psychosis, CIP for short, usually stems from a child using THC products and developing problematic use called cannabis use disorder. CIP can be a sudden emergence of a psychotic episode. It can also be something that develops over time, like with my son, who started using at 14, who didn't really have a psychotic episode until 18. The summer after Johnny died, I received an invitation to go talk to the Senate Majority Leader about what had happened to my son. So with a very large coalition of people, we had many hours of testimony in front of committees, and they read Johnny's story in closing arguments, and I was thrilled to be in the galley when everybody voted to pass Colorado House Bill 1317, regulating marijuana concentrates, and I felt vindicated. Finally, Johnny was going to get justice in the sense of protecting others. We started Johnny's Ambassadors really to educate parents and teens about THC, today's high-potency products. I give about 200 assemblies a year in middle schools and high schools. I come to them as Johnny's mom. I tell them a lot about how he was when he was their age, but more so about the science, about the data. And that's really what teens are interested in today. I get so many hugs afterward, and that's the best. It's so healing. But they also tell me I'm using. And thanks to hearing your story and you sharing this information, I think I might have a problem, and I think I'm gonna get help, and I'm gonna try to stop. So maybe Johnny is saving people. We hope that if there's anybody out there that hears this message and you're concerned about your child's use, please reach out. That's the best gift that anybody could possibly give me. I think about Johnny all the time, every day. You know, that's one of the hard things about having a nonprofit with your son's name is that I end up talking about him every day, and I miss him every day. I just remember his smile. He could just light up the room when he walked in. He was a great hugger, and I have a tattoo here that I keep that is the last Mother's Day card that he ever wrote to me. And it said, "I love you, comma, Johnny." And in the English language, "I love you, comma, Johnny" could also be me telling him I love him. So I keep his actual writing over my heart to remember him every day.